You know the scene, right? The cat, the mouse, and just total hilarious chaos. We've all seen it a million times. But have you ever stopped and wondered why it's so good? What makes that simple chase so legendary? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the simple, super powerful, and totally timeless formula behind one of the greatest rivalries ever.
I mean, it seems so incredibly simple, right? But for more than 80 years, these two have had us hooked. The secret? It's not some complicated story or brilliant dialogue. Nope, it's all about a formula. A formula so perfect, so airtight, that it basically never has to change. So let's dive in and break it down.
Okay, so first things first, the setup. The real genius here is how fast it all happens. I'm talking seconds. It tells you everything you need to know without wasting a single moment getting to the good stuff, the action.
In this setup, it almost always follows three super simple steps. First, you establish the calm. Then, you introduce the motive. And finally, boom, the provocation. That's the thing that shatters the piece and kicks the whole story off. Let's see exactly how that works.
So almost every time, it starts right here, in a moment of perfect peace. You know, Tom's just chillin', minding his own business, maybe trying to catch a nap. This is the baseline, the status quo. It's that perfect calm before the storm. And that's what makes the chaos that's about to happen so much better.
And then our little agent of chaos shows up, Jerry. But here's the thing. Jerry isn't just causing trouble for the sake of it. He's what you'd call a classic trickster. He's a smart disruptor, and he has a super simple, super clear goal we can all understand. He wants that cheese. We get his motivation instantly, and that's why his whole plan feels so, well, planned. And this is the spark, the provocation. Tom gets a little sniff of that cheese. He starts to stir. And just like that, peace is over. The chase is on. The whole conflict has just kicked off. It's simple, it's effective, and honestly, it's brilliant.
All right, now we get to the main event, the heart of it all, the chase itself. And listen, this isn't just mindless running back and forth. No way. It's actually a super structured sequence of conflict. You could almost call it a beautiful dance of controlled comedic chaos. And really, you can boil the whole thing down to two beautifully simple opposite goals. On one side, you've got Tom. He's basically the guy in charge, and all he wants is to get back to his nap, to restore order. And on the other side, you've got Jerry, our little trickster. He just wants to escape with the cheese and, create a little chaos. Every single gag, every trap, every close call, it all comes from these two clashing goals. And it's just the pure energy of it all that's so addictive, The fun isn't really about wondering if Jerry's going to get away. Come on, we all know he probably is. The real entertainment is in how he does it. It's the creativity, the totally bonkers, physics-defying gags, and just the pure momentum that keeps our eyes glued to the screen.
So every good story's got to have an ending, right? And in this formula, the chase always wraps up with a punchline. It's the big comedic payoff that you absolutely see coming, and it's hilarious every single time. The main tool they use to deliver that punchline is just pure, classic slapstick. Humor that's all about over-the-top physical stuff. Think anvils falling from the sky, getting smacked with a frying pan, all that good stuff that breaks the laws of physics. It's a kind of comedy that everyone, everywhere gets. You don't need any translation.
And yeah, the result is pretty much always the same. Doesn't matter if it's a pan, a door, or a rake left in the wrong spot, the ending for Tom is usually a loud, cartoonish bunk. It's like the perfect physical punctuation mark at the end of the sentence.
And every time it happens, we laugh, we all say, oh, that's classic Tom. And see, that's not bad storytelling. That's the whole point. It's the fulfillment of the promise. We expect it to happen. We kind of want it to happen. The satisfaction we get comes from seeing the formula play out perfectly, with the clever underdog winning and the not-so-lucky cat getting the short end of the stick.
So the big question is, why? Why has this simple little three-part story, the setup, the chase, the punchline, stuck around for decades? And maybe more importantly, why does it still work so darn well in the short-form videos we see all over the place today?
Well, it really all boils down to four key things. First, the motives are super simple and universal, like being hungry or just wanting some peace and quiet. We get it. Second, we can't help but root for the underdog, right? That clever little guy sticking it to the big guy. Third, that predictable ending gives us this feeling of comedic comfort, like all is right in the world. And finally, and this is the most important part, even though the beginning and the end are always the same, the middle, the chase, That part can be endlessly creative. It never, ever gets boring. And that right there is the genius of it.
When you really think about it, the most powerful formulas, they don't need to change. They just work. They work because they tap into something really fundamental about how we tell stories and, just human nature. They become legends because they're so constant, so reliable, and so perfectly put together.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you can see this classic formula so clearly, where else do you spot it? Think about all the short videos you scroll through every single day. What other timeless, powerful formulas are out there, hiding in plain sight, just waiting to grab your attention?